Hey guys. Well, it is 1 o'clock or right there at it. Uh, Thought I would see if anybody's out there. Let me know if anybody can hear this or see this. Uh, don't know anything about that. Come on, guys. Somebody say something. Get me out there. 32 seconds here. Says add a destination to put comments. Well, thought I was doing that. No, we don't want to do that. Let's see what we're doing here. I'm assuming that this thing is working. I don't know if it is or not, but we are here. This is my second live, guys. Oh, we need to get this off of here. How do we get it on there? Hide it. Go away. There we go. My dress is not doing well. Okay. If anybody knows what I am doing wrong, let me know. I am trying to get this thing going and I may not be getting any comments. I hope you guys can hear me. If you can't hear me and you can't send me a text, call me in case you're out there. I want to share the screen. I don't know how to share the screen, but I will. No, don't share screen. Okay. Well, I'm going to carry on anyway. I hope someone's out there watching, and if not, you guys can watch this secondhand. I'm in a different room. This is the dog room now. It used to be a bedroom, but now this is where my dogs sleep at night. So it's kind of junked up, but we are coming to you guys to say, hey, what's going on in the world? Let y'all know, hey, Jesus loves you. Let's remember that, everybody. We are got a lot coming up this week. So I'm hoping that you guys can see and hear this. Can anybody out there see or hear this? Don't see anything. Still not seeing anything. Okay, whether we're seeing anything or not, we're going to carry on. You guys, my tiny house video with Miss Sweet, bless her heart. She is the sweetest lady I have ever known. And I wanted to let you guys that it has gotten almost 15,000 views and may have gotten to 15,000 since the last time I looked. I am so amazed, and she is just thrilled. We are going to be collaborating together to go and do a church in her hometown where she grew up as a child. I think it is I'm not sure if it's a little Catholic church or what kind of church it is. She just sent me a text or told me about it, and it's in Little Texas, Alabama. If you guys know anything about Little Texas, I don't. I know it's down close to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You know where Tuskegee, Alabama. That's where the Tuskegee Institute is, where they have the horse hospital. I know that because I've taken my horse there. Thank God they saved my little man. I love that little horse to death. But anyway, get rid of some of this mess behind me. I made it worse. Show all my coats hanging on the back of the door. Hey, I don't have any closets in this house except for the ones that I built. And, you know, this house was built sometime back in the late 1800s. So it is a super old house that I have come in and made into a home for me. It back in when my mom was 12 years old, her parents bought this house. That's a little history for you guys. My mother was 12 years old. She was born in 36. So that would have made it, what, 48? And for 1948, my grandfather bought this house. And at one point in time, we had the bill of sale title or whatever where he bought this place from a Mr. Wallace. And I don't know a lot of the details, but I mean, it listed right down to how many shovels and hoes and rakes, and if there was any plows, or I mean, everything that was left here was listed on that bill of sale. And it was so cool, and I wish I could find it now. I don't know where it is, what happened to it. I don't know if maybe my brother has it or my sister has it, or maybe it was in with some of the things when my mobile home that I had years and years and when Tanya was a baby burned. I don't know. It's been so many years because Tanya's 44 years old now. So it burned when she was in kindergarten. So that would have been 39 years ago. You know, my brain, I hadn't got but so many cells in there, and those few cells that I have can only hold on to so much, and I guess that's not one of those things that it held on to. So anyhow, we are out there, and but Miss Wheat and I are going to go down to there. I also have a good line on some more tiny homes, and I'm looking forward to doing them. They are now, it's at a resort. It's more like I guess you'd call it a resort. But anyway, you guys will see, and I'll show lots of pictures of it. It's here around West Point Lake. And I don't live but 10 minutes from West Point Lake. We're probably less than 10 minutes from the lake. And we live about 12 minutes from the Earl Cook Beach, which is a man-made beach, but it was built onto the lake by the Corps of Engineers. So we're going to be going over there. Hopefully, I've got to get in touch with the guy that owns them or manages them and make sure. And if we can, we're going to do one of those at least one, maybe a week or every 2 weeks. It's according to, you know, whether they're rented for the summer or not, whether we can do them. But I'm really hoping, and I think that it will be approved. Also, we have got a church that's over in Pine Mountain, Georgia, and it's a tiny church. And it's also where Tanya, my oldest daughter, got married at. And so we're going to be going over and doing a tiny church video. And it's a really pretty place over there. And they have chalets or cabins or whatever for people that are camping there also or want to stay there. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Callaway Gardens, but Callaway Gardens is a big, big resort that has been here, long as I can remember. I don't know really how long it has been here. We are going to try to get some videos of that also. And we'll be doing some, I will be doing some things from Pine Mountain, which is where Callaway Gardens is at. Now, Callaway Gardens is a beautiful place. They have a huge resort. They have a butterfly house area there that I love. I love to go every year to see the butterflies. You can see them. They'll just come and light all over you, and it's just something to see. I've been trying to get my sister. She travels a lot. Her boyfriend, fiance, whatever he is, owns a bunch of property, and they go a lot and stay at the properties. And I've been trying to get hers to do some videos of those areas, but she hasn't done it so far. I don't know if I'm going to be able to convince her, or I may just have to show up when they're there, and say, hey, get out of the way. I'm doing a video. But I mean, he's not at a short of people to come in and rent them. They're very, very nice places, from what I understand. Never been there myself. But anyway, we are out there. What do y'all got? These mutts are in here again. Maggie, what are you doing? Are you up here trying to get attention? Casper, there's my man. There's my Casper boy. Hey, darling. There's my Casper. Yes, Casper. I love this Casper boy. Casper is a sweetheart. Yes, he is. He's going to get a bath today. All of these mutts get a bath today, guys. And they need it. They are so dirty. I've been letting them eat all kinds of stuff that they shouldn't be getting into. Yes, I love you, man. Anyway, but we also have some more things with the garden coming up. We're going to make some cabbage chow. I don't know if you guys have ever had cabbage chow, but we love it here, and we're probably down to the last 5 or 6 jars, and I have cabbage growing. We'll probably eat some cabbage, and then I'm going to do the rest of it in chow. Isn't that right, man? Yeah. Tell him about it, Casper. Tell him all about it. Tell him your face is dirty. So I have a dirty face, folks. But I'm the man. Yes, I am the man. Anyway, we are also going to be ripping up our green beans. I have had all the green beans that I want to mess with, hon. It has been so hot here. It has been horrific. Close to 100 degrees, and this humidity has been in the 80 percentile range. And I mean, you walk out the door, you can probably see I'm sweating now I just walked in from trying to backwash the swimming pool. We have this old above ground pool that I keep thinking is going to fall in and I can tear down that old wore out deck that I haven't done anything to in forever around it. Because coming off the back of the house, I want to put a big carport area and maybe a storage shed out there because we have nowhere to put anything in this house. So it would be nice to have a place out there. Also, probably not now, but maybe as it starts to cool off, we're going to be rebuilding our old smokehouse that my grandfather built. And it has just gone to the wayside, bless its heart. It's been built since like the late 40s. So we don't use it as a smokehouse anymore. In fact, right now it has my medicines, my canning jars, my medicines for the animals, my canning jars. It has flowers in there that I put together to take to the cemeteries and things, your silk flowers and things. Also my Christmas stuff. So I'm going to be cleaning all of that crap out. And we're not going to be probably ever turning it back into a smokehouse just because, we're not doing a big enough pile of meat to need that big a thing. Now, when my grandfather started it, it's got all the nails up there on the rafters where he used to hang the hams and, meat and all, to make bacon and smoke it so that, they would have it because you didn't have refrigeration. Back then you had the salt curing, and we had this huge box that was about the size of a freezer. I will never forget because they had it painted this green color. I don't know what you would call that green, but years ago it was a very popular color, I guess, because everywhere you look, there are that color green. In fact, Joey's home, which his grandfather built on his side of the family, is also painted that color green. And so his mom and dad, right before Mr. Dudley died, they painted that house back. I guess it was the same color or real close to the same color. So we're probably going to be having to do some touch up on it before long. And it needs some work too, bless his heart. He's still got he has a beer can collection and all of Jeremy's toys, from back when he was a kid, just stuff. We've just got old furniture that we can't keep here but didn't want to get rid of, and stuff over there. And I've told Haley, I have this table it's like an antique table, but the leaves fold down on it. And I told her that when she decides to get her a house, that we've already got a table and chairs if she wants it. They're the ladder back chairs, but it'd be cute in a small home. And she's talking about maybe not too much longer in the future, possibly buying a house. Also, we are trying to get that house cleaned up. I want to finish that. Get back on the subject, Carol. I want to get out there and finish that smokehouse because it's gotten termites in it. So we need to get that part of the wood torn off and redone. And we're going to insulate it good so that I can put all my canned goods. When we were kids, my grandmother would store things out there. And when I ended up with this house, there were still some jars of stuff out there that were still, she would wrap the jars in newspaper and put them out there. And I guess they were packed good enough because nothing froze. Rarely did you come across anything froze. I remember going out there as a little girl and she would say, go out there and get me a jar of green beans, go get me a jar of potatoes or squash or whatever it was she wanted, butter peas or whatever. And we'd have to run out there to the smokehouse and look through stuff. And she had them labeled, and we'd go through and drag them out. And of course, us kids, we didn't clean nothing up. So there's all these newspapers laying all over everywhere. So, eventually we'd have to go out there and pull up all the newspapers and stuff. And so I would like to be able to start storing that kind of stuff outside. Because like I say, this house has no closets. We built 2 closets upstairs when we lowered the ceilings in this house and put 2 bedrooms upstairs. When I had the ceilings lowered, I had a guy named Vasily Gust. If anybody have ever heard of him, he is super nice guy. Should have hung in there. I did not. You know how that goes. I hired him to do some work on my house, and we eventually dated and ended things and moved on. But he was a super guy. And he was there when my youngest daughter was born. In fact, I met him when I was pregnant with her. And we started going to the movies and things together during that time. And he went when she was born. And I have pictures of him sitting there doing the skin contact with her. He was just super sweet with her. And we dated for quite a while, I guess for over a year and a half, 2 years. But you know how things are when you're young and stupid. So didn't continue with that. Then we moved on. But I couldn't trade Joey for anything, I don't guess. He's a good guy. We have a lot of differences in opinion on things. Joey is super slow and thinks out every move that he makes. Where I'm one of those fly by the seat of my pants and I jump in there and do things just wide open. I always have been that way. Now, when I worked, of course, I had to think, what's causing this or what's causing that. And, I wasn't the greatest at troubleshooting. What are you doing, Rose? Wasn't the greatest at troubleshooting. You coming back, man? You want to get back in the picture? You do. And so, if I couldn't figure it out, I had a couple of guys that I could turn to, to help me out. But anyhow, we hope to get the smokehouse done, getting back on track, and get it insulated good and a good door put up so that I can start putting my canned goods out there and move some of the items that I have in the attic out. My attic is just packed full of junk. I've probably got 3 or 4 different Christmas trees up there. Old decorations from God knows how long back in the past. All of my kids' lives, and probably some from my parents when or my grandparents even. I have no clue. There's a baby bed up there from when Brandy was born in the attic. You know, just stuff that you should have gotten rid of a million years ago. And I keep thinking, well, I'll probably need it. But when Madison and Haley were born, and we got a baby bed here at the house so I could look after them. I just went and picked one up. You know how you do. Just too lazy to go up there and dig that one out because you have to climb across the rafters because the way the old attic is, it does not have flooring. You just go across the rafters. There's above this room that I'm in now, there is flooring over half of it, and that's where the Christmas decorations and, you know, other holiday decorations are. But as far as the rest of the attic, it's not. And in places, it gets really, really narrow. Um, when we were kids, my cousin Brad used to give us all of his old comic books, and I wish I had those comic books now. But of course, they were put up in the attic, and they are probably, well, they've been thrown out, but they were ate up by bugs and mice and whatever else might could have gotten into them or did get into them. I have no clue, but they were not good enough to even save. And I don't know if I would have known then that comic books were a thing to save back in those days when we were doing all that cleaning out. Also, one of my dogs has left home intentionally. Tilly, the short-legged black and gold dog that we have, that's Maggie's mom, she has gone to live with a girl that I've known for quite a long time. She's a real sweet lady. And Rosie, I was going to get rid of Rosie, but then when she started talking that she had these really, really old dog, and then she had one that was kind of anxious and nervous, and I said, we don't need to send her two like that because it might be worse. So things have calmed down here some. She and this monster Maggie that's laying over here beside me still fight a little bit, but it's more just arguing than it is actually fighting. But it's so much quieter because those two would gang up on Tilly constantly for no reason. I mean, it didn't make any sense to me. And so we would get on there, and the children would, you know, when the grandkids were here, they would get them all wound up, and then they would start jumping on Tilly and sometimes on Josie. And Josie is teeny tiny. She doesn't weigh but about 3 pounds at the most, soaking wet at that. And she's 100 well, she's 13, almost 14 years old. So I couldn't have her getting jumped on. Even though I think it was a lot more noise than it was actually biting, because I haven't found any real bite marks on them. Whew, I need to turn the air up. It is hot in this house, girlfriend. Whew, I am burning up. But my dress is not acting right here. But so we still showing the liner on it. But so those things are coming up. Also, Lightning, my horse, has been in the pasture now for quite a while. I have one little video of me riding him, but it just shows a little bit of the pasture, and it's probably not 3 or 4 minutes long. But he and I are going to get out and take a couple of rides. We're going to ride over to one of the areas that we ride that goes around part of a lake, and we're going to do some riding over there and maybe some videoing for you guys. Also, the reason that I'm in this room and not where I was last time was because when I played it back and watched it, it looked a little blurry, and I don't have the cord that you actually plug to the modem and then plug into my laptop, you know, to connect it or whatever, however they call that. But so I've moved into this room where all the junk is piled, as you can see. Um, Hoping that it's closer and that the um, modem and the thing that sends it out into the house, whatever that is, would make it come in clearer and be better for you guys to see. Also, let's see, what else do we have coming up? We are going to be uh, going down to Florida to visit my daughter there. And so we're going to be doing some videos at the lake, or not at the lake, at the ocean. There in Destin and maybe St. Augustine and on up around Pensacola and that area. I don't really know, but they live close to Destin. They go to, her husband is military, so I think it's Eglin Air Force Base there. I believe that's the name of it, but it's right there out of Fort Walton. And so we're going to be going there and doing some videoing. I've also got some, unless I have deleted it somehow, I have some short videos of where, when they bought the house. Of course, you know, when you buy something, you're really not satisfied most times with what it looks like. And so we went in, the house had carpeting that probably had been in it since, you know, it was built, which it's probably, you know, 15 or 20 years old. I don't know how old the house is. But so we went in and I went down and helped her. Her husband was still in Ohio. And so we went in and we ripped all that carpet out and the laminate flooring and our linoleum flooring that they had in the kitchen and all. And we went in and painted the entire house. I did tons of painting. We went in, took off all the old electrical covers and everything and got them ready for, they replaced all the covers with the plugs that have the plugs for your internet, whatever that thing is, in all, in it, ever throughout the house, you know, to make it more up to date. I think they were going to put those the fittings, the lights that when you go out of the room, if you leave the lights on, because they have 4 children, you know. Of course, the one of the kids, the oldest son, is in Kennesaw now, or up that way. Was going to school, and now he's quit school. You know how that goes with your children. He's decided that he wants to be a chef, so he's going to go back next quarter, I guess. And he's changing his major from what he had, and he's going to go over to being a chef. Now, he's always liked to cook, and he's real handy. He can do anything. He's a big boy. He's probably 6'4" and weighs 210 or 15 pounds, so he's a pretty good sized boy. But he's always liked cooking, and he's got him 2 or 3 roommates, and they've got a house rented up there that they really like. And so he says he's going to go back and go into culinary and become a chef. So we'll see how that happens. What happens with that? Haven't heard from Madison. Madison's life is wound up, I guess. She never gets in, comes to see me or anything. She is busy. You know, she's in the Outer Banks, North Carolina area. She works up there at one of those big resort areas. She loves it. This is her second year there. She worked 2 years at Yellowstone, out in close to Montana, I believe is where she was. I'm not really positive, but out there close to the old, where the Old Faithful erupts and all that. And she loved it out there, but it was just so dang far. You know, it was like 28 hours away. We're up there where she's at because of, it probably wouldn't be but 9, maybe 10 hours, but because there's no road that goes over, she has to drive about 5 hours out of the way to come up and go across and come back down on that peninsula there where she's at. But she loves it up there, and she has gotten into rock climbing. Of all things, this is the child that did not get dirty as a kid. But I ruined her. I drug her around with me everywhere I went because she was, of course, the first grandchild, and I was her best friend in school, guys. Uh, it's really funny to think about that because she was, I hope you guys can hear this. She was um, drug on most every horse ride I went on. Haley too. Haley went on a heap of them. And but poor Madison, I mean, I was really, really into the horse thing then. And I would take her places, and I would take a 5-gallon bucket and a potty seat. And I would say, okay, here. I was potty training her. I'd drop that kid's britches just about anywhere and set her up on that bucket, and people just would look at me like, this woman's lost her mind. But hey, that's the way it is when you live in the country. You're just not, and you ride horses. She was lucky to have a bucket. Most of the time we had to squat in the bushes. That reminds me, I'm going to have to tell y'all, I went to Buffalo River. It's in Tennessee. And they had this big horse park there, riding place up there. And so it's my first time ever going, and I didn't know anybody that was there. And I got there, and I ran across Shorty. Don't know if any of you ride horses, but if you've ever been on very many horse rides, you've met Shorty. Shorty was a little bitty guy. His last name, he was Mr. Gray, really. But we all called him Shorty because he was a little short fella. And Shorty was hilarious. He sold tucker saddles and other type of horse riding things that you need. Hey, any kind of paraphernalia for horses. You know how that goes. Bridles and nice stuff. And so Shorty was riding. He had this real pretty dog that rode with him, and she has since died, and so has Mr. Shorty. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But we were riding, and I met Shorty, and so we were riding along, and there was a guy with Shorty that I think I had met him once before when I went up to Berry College and rode, where Shorty's Saddle Club put on a big ride up there, and they've since stopped that because people didn't take care of it. You know how it is. People ride on property and they throw down their trash and stuff, and it just, the school got to the point to where they couldn't have the mess. They wouldn't clean up after themselves. It's awful how people do. But so we're riding along, and these ladies are there, and I mean, they have got their horses dressed out, and they're dressed out. They got the little spandex riding breeches and the matching tops, and their saddlebags all matched, and their outfits all matched, and I mean, everything to a T matched from the top of that horse to the bottom of his feet, and the ladies included. Everything matched, and each day that they rode, they had different stuff that all matched that they dressed. And they must have got ready 2 hours before the rest of us to get everything decked out. It was so funny because, I mean, I took my stuff, but I'd throw that stuff on there, and I'd be ready to ride in 15 minutes, and that was getting the horse brushed down and everything else. And I didn't get up until I absolutely had to go ride because, I'm not an early riser. I don't like getting up early. So back in the day when all this was going on, we were riding along there, and anyway, so these ladies said, well, we got to go to the bathroom. Said, oh, all right, the guys are going to go over here, and the ladies are going to go this way. So, I bebop over there on my horse with the rest of the women. I get off my horse. Well, here I am with my britches pulled down and squatting, and I glance around, and these ladies are standing there. I'm going, ugh. What the heck? I'm looking at them like, So get back over there and get on my horse, and kind of looking around, and I'm thinking, what in the heck? What if, was I riding with men or women or what? This was years and years ago, people, when you didn't see that kind of thing. And comes to find out, these ladies had something that was called a Peter helper or whatever. Peter, some kind of Peter, something Peter. Anyway, it was a little plastic doodad that they could pull those stretchy britches down in the front and put over themselves that would make them pee out without having to squat and, get ticks or whatever, poison oak on your hiney or whatever, that you might, bugs or whatever. And I thought, well, this is the strangest thing. So, of course, you know me, I had to tell everybody and get back to the thinking. I'm going, man, did you see that? I mean, I'd never seen this thing. So that's how I found out what it was all about. And so then the next time I wasn't so shocked. But that particular day, I was just like, holy crap. So anyway, we're riding along and we just about got back to ride, and then somebody goes, hey, you got on panties. I guess I could see the crease of my panties under my blue jeans. At that time I was much slimmer than I am now, y'all. And I said, yeah, why? And he says, well, you need some of this. And I said, what's that? And he said, it's liquid panty remover. I said, what? He said, yeah, she's drink it and it removes your panties. So come to find out, it was moonshine. Well, I didn't drink any of it. I sipped out. As soon as I smelt it, I knowed what that stuff was. I said, no, not this girl. I don't need any of that stuff. So I did not get into the liquid panty remover that day. But that was the same weekend that I learned about liquid panty remover and Peter helpers, whatever. So, you learn something new on every trail ride. Later on, thinking about trail rides, I bought this horse and he was beautiful. His name was Dakota. But now, Dakota had been ridden on the racetrack. He was a pacer on the racetrack. Well, I didn't know that until after I bought him. And he rode perfect. You couldn't ask for a better horse until somebody else passed him. Now, if you're riding along and somebody passed that horse, it didn't matter how much you pull back. That sucker was hell-bent for leather. He was going to pass him. I guess that was just what he had been trained his whole life to do. So, I'm going down through there, and I'm not the greatest, gracefulest rider anyway, ridden all my life, but never wide open like that. And so I'm sitting there holding on because as a kid, we rode bareback. I'm used to not setting your feet and leaning back in the seat and holding on that kind of way. We're used to wrapping our legs around their bellies and, if they ran or something. So here I am with my stirrups trying to wrap them around the horse's belly like a dummy. And that horse is going faster, I guess, because of that. So finally, I'm hollering and screaming, hey, get out of the way. I can't stop him, And he's flying down this dirt road after another horse. And the lady, my friend Beverly, of all people, that wasn't any better riding, and probably not as good at riding as I was. She's the one that turned her horse sideways in front of that horse to make that horse stop. Bless his heart. He slacked up, and when he did, I guess he turned loose of the bit or whatever he was doing, because that's when I got him to slow down and stop. And I will never forget that, Beverly. If you're watching this, thank you so much, hon. You saved my life probably, because I could feel myself getting further and further loosened up in that saddle, and I knowed my butt was going to come off of there. So we're riding along, and I'm thinking, all of you guys and all these women here riding that I know just break horses and do everything, have been on every kind of horse there is, and none of y'all turn sideways. Y'all would just go watch my butt get thrown off, or rode off, probably was a better way of putting it. But we all got, we got stopped. Another thing, I rode him a bunch of more times after that. And I would just try to pay a lot of attention. But Dakota, he did it again on me And so I sold him, and he ended up going to an endurance rider, little bitty woman. I bet she didn't weigh 89 pounds soaking wet. And so we went, and she got him, and that's when I ended up getting Lightning. And I've had Lightning most all his life. And bless his heart, I think I got him when he was 3. And the guy that I bought him from was scared of him, and he would throw buckets at him to go in there and put feed in his thing. That's how scared he was of him, because he was trying to get on the horse and didn't really know how to ride. He just decided he wanted a horse. And Lightning took off because all the other people took off. And at that time, this guy was riding with people that rode their racking horses wide open. I mean, you went down those roads just as fast as you could go. Well, my friend Dennis, he's the one that told me about the horse. And he said, he's going to need a little work, but he says, if you don't like him, he said, I'll tell you what, if you don't like, because I said, now, Dennis, I don't want a crazy horse. I said, I've had the crazy horses. I need a horse that I can ride, that I'm not going to get hurt on. He said, well, I'll tell you what, if you don't like the horse, I'll buy him back from you. So we got over there, my friend Casey and I went. And so we're sitting over there, and Casey's one of those people, she can talk to anybody. So she's jabbering away, and we find out the guy's got the horse, and we like him. He's pretty. You know, we get on him and ride him. And he rode fine. I mean, his rack's great. He's smooth. He's laid back. He has a natural gait no matter how you shoe him or anything. So how we got off on this horse tangent, but boy, I can talk about horses all day, guys. But anyway, while we're over there talking, Casey mentions that, you know, we're kind of looking for a smaller trailer. And the guy says, well, I'm selling my bumper pull too. So we ended up getting a horse and a horse trailer that day. And I've still got the bumper pull. And I had a big, huge 4-horse trailer with living quarters that I've sold since then, because I don't go on long trail rides anymore. But we went all over the country. I mean, I've been to South Texas. I've been New Orleans and rode, South Florida. I mean, just, you know, all over the East Coast. And then way on around through Texas and Louisiana and New Orleans. And I mean, all up through there. God, I can't even name all the states that I've been in riding. But we all, Maggie keeps bumping me with her little butt. I guess she's wanting me to give her attention. But so I've ridden, like I say, I've had Lightning. When I first got him, he didn't want to stand still. When you were on him, he wanted to be going, because that was all he had known. Another friend of mine, Lynn Brown, broke this horse as a probably 18-month, 2-year-old, and rode him. And Lynn had this saddle that probably weighed 80 or 90 pounds. And then Lynn was a big old boy. And then he rode with at least a 12-pack of beer and ice and saddlebags. So that poor horse probably weighed 600 pounds and was carrying 300 pounds. So he was broke as you could get, but all he had ever been ridden was wide open. And so when you'd get on him, he didn't want to stand there for the other horses. You know, if you got on before the other guys got on their horses, you had to be riding him around in circles doing something. So I finally got him out of that, and he did not want to stand still for you to get on him. And he's out of that, you know, over the years. And so that was nice because when I got on him, when you throwed your foot in that saddle and the weight shifted, he was taking off. So you better be able to swing your hiney on up there and get on him. But we got all that broke out of him. But we haven't ridden Lightning a whole lot. And my farrier, something's happened to him. He hasn't shown up for months and months and months. So I've got to get him trimmed. And then we're going to go for a ride and take you guys along, even if it's just for a day or for a weekend. But, you know, we're going to do something. But anyhow, so, I mean, that's another ramble. Hey, guys. That's my channel. I ramble on, and I've been rambling today. But nobody has come in. I don't know if I have this thing not set up to where comments can come in, or if I hope it's live. I hope that this thing is going out there in the world. If not, people are thinking, dang, this woman's insane. She said she's going to go live, but there's nothing there. Or maybe they're seeing it and they're not getting any volume, or they're just hearing voice. And, I don't know. Nobody has commented today. So I may not have anyone out there, and I may not even be doing a broadcast. So right now, we're just rambling around. But just wanted to let you guys know what was coming up in the near future. I am hoping that Maggie. I am hoping that I can get some good content out there. Miss Wade is just so thrilled that her tiny home has done so well on the video. She told me, she says, since watching that video, I have completely redone my house. She is so sweet, and bless her heart, she lost her little dog. So Sugar Pie went to heaven. And so Miss Sweet says, I'm so glad that you come and done that video when you did, because now I can look back at that video and I can still see my Sugar Pie. And, I just boo-hooed when she called and told me, because I knew how much that little dog meant to her. And bless her heart, I had told her about that I was going to probably getting rid of Rosie or something. And then I ended up giving Tilly away. And I felt really bad, because I told her, I said, I'm sorry, but I gave the dog away. And she says, well, I don't think I'm going to get another dog right now. If she does, that's okay. If she doesn't, that's okay too. But, if she wants a dog in the future and we have another litter, we'll give her a puppy. I just love Miss Sweet. She is the sweetest person that you will ever meet in your life. And she's one of those people that everybody is drawn to no matter what. So she is just someone that everybody should have a friend like her. And so anyhow, coming up, I am so thankful for all these people that have subscribed to my channel. I have almost 140 people subscribing. It's amazing to me that 140 people would even want to watch something that I put out, much less subscribe to watch more of it. But I hope that I can put out stuff that you guys will enjoy. I know it seems like that a lot of people have been really interested in my videos, like the one that I put out with the kids fishing tournament, and also the one that I put out about West Point Dam and information about it and the guys fishing there off the dam. And so I am hoping that in the future that I can put out some more content that you guys will enjoy. And I want to thank you all so much for coming out and supporting me, watching my videos. Got 550 watch hours. I don't know if they're public or what they considered qualifying hours, because your watch hours and your public watch hours for some reason is different. I guess they're not counting any hours that I put in. If I go back and watch my videos or something, they don't count those hours. I guess that's what they're talking about. I have no clue. Some of you people that are big into YouTube can tell me that. And if there's anybody out there that has something that they would like to see, I will try to get it out there for you guys. I would love to put out content. Coming up in November, my granddaughter and I will be going on a cruise. I think I mentioned this. And so we're going to do some videoing of that too, guys, of the cruise itself and some of the amenities. And also, I wanted to mention that if anybody out there is in YouTube land that wants to do the Alaskan cruise for the YouTubers that's coming up in 2025, I would love to go, but my husband does not care to go. He's kind of a homebody, and we have all these critters anyway, so someone would have to be here to look after the critters. So if there is a lady out there that would like to go also, but does not have anyone else that wants to go, give me a shout out on my channel on one of my videos, and I try to look and see all of my comments, and I try to comment or at least let y'all know that I've seen them and that I appreciate them. So if I get a text or message about it, I would love to go. I know it's an expensive trip. You know, it's about, I'm thinking $2,500 probably for the cruise. It's a full week cruise, so you know they're a lot more, and it's to Alaska. And then on top of that, you're going to fly. A lot of the people are getting a trip. They're all meeting in Seattle, Washington. I think it's Seattle, Washington. And then they're getting a flying from there to wherever in Alaska. I'm thinking it's Anchorage, but I'm not sure. I've looked at it, but you know, my brain, like I say, those brain cells, they're just not firing much right now. And so I'd have to go back and look at it again to tell you for sure. But anyhow, so I'd like to go. If anybody out there wants to plan to go, I probably will not do the trip to Washington and then go from there. I probably will end up most likely flying from here to Alaska and then joining the cruise there. Maybe the same cruise that you guys, and it may or may not be listed under the you know, getting the $200 credit that they're offering for the cruise people, because part of the charge that they are charging is including the flight, I understand, from Washington there. But if I can get a cheaper flight, I will be going straight to Washington to Alaska, because it really does not make sense to me for me to go to Washington State and then having to get another motel there and not know a soul there unless I get up with a YouTube crowd, which would be fun, you know, if I knew somebody that was going to be there. But just going for the heck of it, and you know, it financially it does not make sense. And so most likely I will be doing that. And I will, if and when I get to go, if I get to go, you know, like I say, I'm not going to pay, because I checked on it and I could get an interior room, but by the time I add the gratuities and the taxes and the costs, it's right around $2,500. And if I went by myself, which would be great, but I can't afford to come up with $5,000 just to go on a cruise to have fun for 7 days, because I can take $5,000 and go on 4 cruises here. You know, I mean, that would be crazy for me to do. So even though I would love to spend time with you guys, I just can't justify that expense right now. But you know, I could probably do a couple of thousand on a cruise. And as far as the drinks go, you know, they're giving a $200 spending money, $100 for whatever. But both of them, it would end up being $200. That's part of the cruise package. And I'm not a big drinker, you know, and so most likely, if I drank anything at all, I would probably use that money to just buy my drinks and pay the gratuity price right there, instead of buying the drinking package, which is like $200 or something, $160, which don't make any sense to me. You know, I have to justify, you know, because I'm old and I live on a fixed income, and I have to justify the money that I spend. And since I'm not making any money on YouTube, guys, maybe I'll be rich by then. Maybe YouTube will fly off and I'll just be rolling in the dough. But unless I'm rolling in the dough and can afford to throw out there a couple of $1,000s in the next 6 months, this girl won't be doing that. So I don't see that happening. But you never know. Miracles do happen. God created heaven and earth in 7 days, so we won't say it didn't happen. But anyway, I wanted to let everybody know that I am interested in going. I would love to go. So if somebody out there can justify that kind of money spending in a period of time, and I don't need a balcony. My God, you don't stay in the room except to sleep or rest. And who wants to be looking out a balcony window? When I'm in there asleep, I don't care what's going on outside in the world, as long as the boat's not, if the ship's sinking, I want to know. But other than that, I don't need all that. And I've been on enough cruises to know I'm not going to get seasick unless there's sure enough a hurricane or something going on out there. And then I might get a little woozy, but I'm just not a seasick or car sick type person. So anyway, if anyone is watching, and I hope that they are, we are just jabbering on, rambling on with this Lifeline YouTube thing. And I hope that all of you out there are enjoying it, are understanding what all is going on with me, and that you guys are interested in coming along on this journey, rambling around with me, seeing what's going on, seeing what we can get into, seeing what we can come up to show you guys. Because and I want to go panning. I have not been go panning this year, and I love to do that. And also, if I get back to Arkansas, I want to be able to stay a little longer. I would love to go to the park where Come On and Country Road Cure and God, DD5 and Simple Life Reclaimed. That whole crowd is out there camping this weekend at a park, and I cannot think of the name of it, but I would love to go there and look for arrowheads or rocks in general. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know what I think's pretty. And so I would love to go out there and just camp and see what I see. It's something to do that I've not done before. I just like seeing and doing new things. And, I've been in the market for a smaller camper. My camper that I have now is a fifth wheel. And, my dually truck doesn't get, but it's a 99 model. Doesn't have, but, right at 100,000 miles. But, it doesn't get about 9 miles to the gallon of diesel. And, diesel is higher than gas now, unfortunately. So this Avalanche that I have gets on the road 27 or so miles a gallon. So I can go 3 times the distance, or at least triple the distance, or at least double the distance and more, if I had just a bumper pull smaller camper. And so I've been in the market for a smaller camper. So you guys, anybody live close by that knows of a smaller camper around that is fairly decent? It ain't got to be perfect by any means. My old fifth wheel is old, but we took it all the way to California, so it's not too old to go down the road, and everything in it works and all. It's not updated, it's not fancy or anything like that. But I'm not looking for fancy. I'm looking for practical and user worthy. Something that I can pack my clothes in, have air conditioning, and take a shower and use the potty without having to crawl up off the ground. Because when we went to Arkansas this last time, oh God, I had 2 guys over there trying to put my cot together, and then I had to get folks to help me get my cot took apart because it was one of those old army cots. And man, that sucker was so tight, it was unreal, guys. And so I wanted to get something that is just easier and more convenient for me. Plus, if I stayed longer than just for the meetup or whatever, that I could go from there, lock the door, and feel comfortable in. Because, I'm going to be packing, guys. That's just me. If you don't believe in the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms or whatever, I'm sorry. But this girl is going to protect herself if she needs it. Hopefully, that won't happen ever. But anyway, I'm so happy that you guys came. The ones that maybe are watching, or future people that are watching this video, I'm so happy that you're here. I've enjoyed this YouTube journey so far, and I want to thank you all for being there with me, for encouraging me. And I most likely have to thank MT Homestead for saying, hey, just get after it, get out there. You're not ever going to do it. If you wait until you know how to do everything, you're never going to do it, because I could have started this journey a year and a half ago if I would have just jumped, but I didn't jump. And I kept thinking, well, I'll keep watching and I'll learn more, but still don't know how to do it, you guys. I'm getting a little bit better at my editing, but not much. Somehow I've lost the last video, picked up the same thing twice. I don't know how I did that. I thought, I moved it. I remember shifting it, moving it, but I did not. I must have moved it and it disappeared somewhere on my timeline. And when it was put in, it came in perfectly between something, because I had the same view twice on there. And, just things that happen. So I just wanted you guys to know, I'm old. I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm trying, guys, and I hope that you guys can laugh at me or laugh with me and see what's going on, and just ride along with me and enjoy this whole thing. So, bye, y'all, and come in here, visit with me, ramble along with me on some of my trips, and hopefully we'll do something fun. Bye.